Hello, welcome to Digital Farm TV Rural News. I'm Andy Walker. Wesfarmers Coles has announced contracts with 2 dairy cooperatives that it says will deliver a better deal to East Coast milk producers. The new contracts will reportedly cut out the middleman and deliver producers a bigger share of retail price. The supply agreements are with processors Murray Goulburn Co-op and Norco in northern New South Wales to supply Coles brand milk in the eastern states. Both supply deals will come into effect in mid-next year. Industry observers say the proposal will require the 2 cooperatives to commit to a significant new investment in processing plant and infrastructure, and they're wondering who's going to pay. Digital Farm TV says, watch this space. The 2013 cotton harvest is well underway in northwestern New South Wales. A growing season characterised by a long dry establishment phase and then flooding rains has had an impact on the bumper crop, and some yields are patchy. Still, there are paddocks yielding 5 big round modules a hectare. Digital Farm TV spoke with Oscot's Guida Valley Operations Manager, Sean Boland.
Thanks, Mike. After what's been another challenging season with some extremely dry and hot conditions through the early part of the summer, and then some quite severe weather events in areas of the district, harvest is well underway at the moment. I'd estimate we're about 30% or just over 30% through our own harvest, and I think the district will be in a similar situation, and I'd expect with some fine weather over the next couple of weeks, the valley will be well and truly through the crop. Yields are going to be up and down a little bit this year, depending on how people handled the hot weather early on in the season and how their crops were able to handle the extreme rain events that occurred in late January and mid-February. Overall though, I think the yield should be around what was expected, and obviously returns will be down a little this year, given we're all expecting the bale prices come off from the records we experienced in the past season.
Victoria's Department of Primary Industries and Department of Sustainability and Environment will be merged to create a new department, according to the Weekly Times newspaper. In what is described as a shock announcement on Wednesday, Country Premier Dennis Napthine said the new department would be called the Department of Environment and Primary Industries, with Agriculture Minister Peter Walsh at the helm. The Premier said the merge would not involve job cuts and would ensure all services were located under one roof. New South Wales is currently well down the track in planning to merge elements of its livestock health and pest authorities, catchment management authorities and primary industries extension services. Following significant rainfall in recent weeks, Western Australian grain growers right now had a golden opportunity to find out if they had glyphosate resistance in their paddocks, according to the Australian Glyphosate Sustainability Working Group. To date, more than 20 cases of resistance had been confirmed in Western Australia's winter grain systems. Group Executive Officer Andrew Storey said large numbers of weeds had germinated in Western Australia in recent weeks and had either just been sprayed or would be sprayed within the next few weeks. Plants surviving the glyphosate application would be easy to identify 10 to 14 days after spraying. Detectives from Queensland Stock and Rural Crime Investigation Squad are looking for 250 head of cattle reported missing from Rose Green Station, approximately 90 kilometres north of Cloncurry. Beef Central website reports that the steers were noticed missing on March 17, with no sign of how they escaped or were removed. Detective Sergeant Bob Gutteridge told Beef Central the stock are all steers of Brahman cross type and carried these brands. Finally this week, China's pork prices, which weigh heavily in its inflation calculations, registered a sharp decline in March, putting downward pressure on inflation but causing widespread industry losses. Pork prices started to decline in January. They had slumped 27% from this year's high and were down 15% compared with the same period last year, industry data showed. The drop in pork prices had put a dent in the inflation rate this month, the National Bureau of Statistics said. Well, that's it for Digital Farm TV Rural News this week. I'm Andy Walker. Look forward to your company again next week.